Hey everybody, welcome back. James here with you with another scope. This is the BERETAC 4.5 to 18 by 44 with the side focus. I recently did a review of the 3 by 9 by 40, so if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. So anyways, this scope right here is probably one of the most magnified scope that BERETAC offers that I know of right now. So we've been shooting at 50 yards today with my Ruger 1022. Got some paper targets down there and the gongs. And I finally got it zeroed. So it's pretty much got the same reticle as the 3 to 9 by 40, but I'm going to go ahead and show you anyway. So take a look. I hope you like that scope cam view there. I actually had to record that at about 5.5 power because of my scope cam setup. The objective lens here, when it corrected itself for zooming in, really made my field of view very narrow recording through my scope cam, but that's all right. So let's go over some features of this scope real quick that make this, I believe, one of the best scopes from BERETAC, because I'm a big fan of the side focus. So I'll get into that in here in a second, but it's got fully coated, multi-coated lenses, just like the last scope. It's basically fully multi-green for the best light transmission and brightest images, which you can really tell. I mean, it's about 6:30, 6:45 right now, and it's still kind of sunny out, but this scope really shows the light through it, and I like that a lot. Made of aluminum alloy, really high durability. It's filled with nitrogen. It's shockproof, waterproof, and fogproof. It actually came with some Bikini Covers. They claim these are Butler Creek. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they go on like that, which I think they're a little bit better than the traditional stretchy kind. It has finger adjustable turrets just like the last scope. They're really on par. So you can undo your screw here, like I mentioned in the last video, reset your zero to actual zero. And actually on the scope here, it goes from a positive number to a negative, so you know if you're going backwards or forwards, which is pretty cool. Let's see, I don't know if it does it on the top. No, it doesn't go negative on the top here. But again, it is a quarter MOA at 100 yards, so one click equals about a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. So they call this scope a long range hunting scope, and it's got a Dot Reticle, as you've seen. It's 4.5 lowest power to 18, which I like a lot. You can see out there. By 44. This is not a traditional 40 objective lens. This is a 44. So at 100 yards, it shows at 4.5 power 24.3 feet, and at the max power, which is 18, it shows 6.1 feet. So it's pretty much suitable for long range and normal and rapid fire shooting, which I just showed you, which is pretty cool. Side focus or side parallax, which I like a lot. This right here is the cream of the crop. That's what really makes this scope, in my opinion. So if you start at the 0 mark, you can go hit the 25 mark, 25 yards. So that's when you basically take your scope, shoot it at 25, make sure it's on the 25 yard mark, and that's the best parallax you're going to get. Then you go to 50 if you want to go 50 yards. I mean, it goes all the way out to infinity, but the next lowest one is 400 yards. So that to me is pretty cool. So what would make you want to buy this scope? Well, according to leupold, which is the manufacturer of BERETAC, it says that their guiding principle is to provide the highest quality and most reliability and most affordable sport optics on the market. And like I mentioned earlier, this scope is on par for me anyway. Don't get me wrong, I like the 3x9x40, but this one right here is the cream of the crop from BERETAC. So if you're going to get one, I believe this one would be better suited for you, depending on if you want the adjustable parallax setting. Now, if you want it set at 100 yards all the time, go with the 3x9x40. But if you like adjusting your stuff all the time, whether if you're shooting long range or not, or close range and then moving out, this right here would be the scope to get. Now, they claim that whether you're a hunter or just enjoy shooting sports, you know that choosing a scope for your rifle will be one of the biggest factors in determining how accurately you'll be able to shoot. So, you know, like I said, I think this scope would do you really well if you adjust your features all the time. If you're one of the people where they just put a rifle on their gun and call it quits, then go with the 3x9x40. But if you're always shooting various distances, you know, trying to get your gun long reaches, go with this scope. So let's go over the product features just real quick, what they offer in this scope. Like I mentioned before, magnification is 4.5 by 18, which I showed you. It's about 12.5 inches long. It weighs just a hair over a pound, 1.1 pounds. The objective lens diameter down here, the bell, is 44 millimeters. The ocular lens is 36 millimeters. So your total objective diameter though down here, so if you're looking for decent scope rings, it says it requires 54 millimeters because this is the size of the objective tube. The eyepiece diameter is 43 millimeters, and your tube diameter, which is pretty common, 1 inch. That's probably the most common scopes anyway. Just went over the adjustable focus parallax setting, side parallax. The field of view again at 100 yards, the lowest power, 4.5, shows 24.3 feet, and if you zoom it all the way to 18, it'll give you a 6.1 feet field of view. Your eye relief. Now this one, since it zooms in, the eye relief, you're going to be a little bit closer to the scope, which isn't a big deal. The eye relief on this at the lowest power is 3.38 inches, and the eye relief on it when you're at the max power at 18, it is 3.77 inches. So there's only about a 1/4 inch difference there, give or take, maybe a little more, but that is not much at all. 10 millimeters actually, to be exact, 10 millimeter difference from going the lowest power to the highest power. Alright, now the click value, like I mentioned, 1 click at 100 yards equals a 1/4 MOA or a 1/4 inch. The elevation and windage on this scope. Now the 3x9x40 is a 60 MOA scope. This one is 100. That gives you a lot more wiggle room for that long range shot. It's non-illuminated, which is no big deal to me. Like I mentioned earlier, the coating on the lenses is fully multi-green, so that gives you the most light transmission you can get out of a scope. And if you decide to order this, the package comes with the rifle scope, duh, you know, that's what you buy. But the lens cover, which is this bikini cover style lens cover here, instructions, and a cleaning cloth to clean your lenses, just in case you touch them or whatever, they get dirty or dusty. So last video you've seen me test the mil dots and the windage turret. This time we're actually going to go long range. Like I mentioned, we're at 50 yards here, and you see me hit the gongs down there, the miniature 22 rimfire gongs. We are at 50 yards. So I'm going to move back about 100, and we'll see where we'll go from there. Alright everybody, so we're pretty much at 100 yards right now, and I went ahead and got the scope as close as I could, zeroed at 100 yards without taking too much time. And right now I'm going to try to hit the gongs down there. So let me get you set up here best I can. see what we can do. Because this is what that scope is meant for, hunting and rapid fire. So we're going to test that out real quick, and then I'll go over again with the features of the scope that I really like, and I hope you like it too. So I got a 15 round magazine loaded up here, and we're gonna send some rounds down range at the gongs and see if I can hit them. Now I should be able to hit the 3-inch but the 2-inch and the 1-inch might be a little off. Not sure yet. I haven't tried. So, all right, well, let's take our first shot here. See how we do. Make sure I'm loaded. Got one in the chamber here. Hopefully you can hear some. Nailed it. That was a 3-inch. Keep hitting the 3-inch one. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. All right, I'm out. Well, so far, it's a pretty good scope. I like it. It just takes some time to get it really tuned in and figure out what it needs, and I'm sure I'll do that here soon. But as far as first impressions, this thing pretty much rocks. So let me go over the features that I really enjoy and call it quits for today. Okay, so some of the features that I really enjoy on the scope, just to recap basically, and then tell you the things that I don't like. Okay, first off, the quick zoom, or the focus I should say, for your eye, the ocular zoom. If you got glasses, contacts, you could take your glasses off and find the exact prescription of your eye. Big feature right there that I really like. If you wear glasses, I used to, so I know how it is. Alright, moving on down the scope, well I should say the 18 power, you're going to get a lot of good long distance range with that power, especially out of a 44 millimeter lens, objective lens. Okay, so now the turrets. These are, like I mentioned earlier, target style turrets with the protective caps. So range time, bench rest, whatever, you could shoot with the caps off, and then if you're out hunting, put the caps on so they don't bump. Got the screw here you undo to set the zero. Once you find your zero, wherever you want to set it at, doesn't matter, range can vary. The next feature that I really like on the scope that sets it apart from most is the actual side focus. Now I had it set at 100 because we're shooting at 100 right now, but like I mentioned earlier, it goes all the way down to 0 pretty much, 25, 50, and goes all the way out to infinity. So the scope can basically cover whatever distance you want to shoot at with these. I like the hash marks. If you see that mark right there on the turret, like I mentioned, set it to 0, you're set. And then the 44 objective lens. This scope has to be the first one I've ever had a 44 objective lens on. Like it a lot. It really, I mean, it's getting kind of dark out, the sun's going down, and it's still giving you that crystal clear image and light transmission through the tube. And so that's the other thing. Standard 25.4 millimeter tube or 1-inch tube, I mean, that's pretty much common, and I don't have any other rings, so 1-inch rings fit perfect, so you could swap out scopes or whatever if you have a 1-inch scope ring. And that's what I really enjoy on scopes that are pretty much compatible with each other. You could swap them out on different guns to try out. So yeah, that's my take on it. The only bad thing, and that's the only bad thing I should say, is the reticle itself. I'm not a big fan of having the dot right in the middle of the crosshair, but that's my preference. If I'm target shooting, I like a fine crosshair. Hunting or long distance shooting, I guess this would be okay on a bigger caliber. But if you're really trying to get precise, close up, like with a 22, it'll do all right for you, I guess, depending on what you're trying to shoot and what you're trying to do. But that's my preference. So, anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you like the scope, the link is going to be in the description below on Amazon. Like I mentioned, you know, this thing is the cream of the crop for BERETAC optics. And if you're looking for a scope that's, I think this one's actually less than the 3 to 9 by 40. It's around the $90 mark if I remember right. Can't remember exactly, but it's lower than that one. So if you could spend that money, this would be the scope to get. And it is what it is, and I really think that this scope with the side focus really can be comparable to scopes that are, you know, 2-3 times that much. But again, that's my opinion. And so anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. And I guess another big feature would be these bikini covers, which are really nice. You just don't have the standard scope cap, so it can be in the way or flimsy and break. And these are rubberized, so. Well, everybody, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's getting a little chilly, so thanks again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.